What's up? This is Ryan. I'm from WalkfloW, and today I am here with
Milad from Lost and Separation.
Right on, man. And what role do you do in the band?
I'm the singer.
Awesome. So when did Lost and Separation begin? When did you start? What's your origin story?
We kind of started out, we kind of formed out of like the ashes of like Hick's old band and then our bassist Jake and I's old band. Mm-hmm. Back in like 2016, 2017, we started sending each other some demos, and at the time we were like working on other projects and stuff. And then we decided to give it a shot and started writing. And at the time, like half of the band was like still in high school, and then the other half were like basically like finishing college. So it's like we've kind of all like, and like even prior to like making music together, we were all friends together. So like in a way, like all of us have kind of grown up together in a way. But yeah, so that's basically the origin of the band. It's like we started around then, started writing demos, and then ended up putting it together.
Kind of meshed well.
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like the chemistry is kind of a big part of a band anyway, and the longevity of it at least.
Right.
So, cool. So let me ask, when was like the first either live performance you're at, or even a studio album or song that kind of just sparked that interest in music for you?
American Idiot by Green Day.
Really?
That was like the first album that I heard where I was like, oh, I like music. And
Yeah.
it's not just like, oh, music's something that my parents put on in the car while they drive us to school.
Mm.
It can be something that I like too. And so, you know, like retroactively, I've kind of grown an appreciation for a lot of the music that like my parents listened to when I was like very young, but I didn't like it at the time. And then I finally heard like, you know, rebellious music, and I was like, oh, this is what I like. And honestly, I have not stopped liking any of that kind of shit since. So,
And
yeah.
what about age, I guess? How old were you, would you say?
Whenever it came out, so I think it was like 03, 04,
Yeah.
so sometime around then, I was like maybe like third grade or so, fourth grade or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just stuck. So what are some major influences now for Lost and Separation, I guess, as a whole, but also for yourself?
Honestly, dude, like a little bit of everything. We listen to a lot of different kinds of music. Obviously, there's like so many metalcore bands that you could name, and I think some obvious ones would be like some of the big ones like Bring Me or Architects or Bad Omens or, you know, whatever. But we all have a lot of like very different influences on like a personal level as well. So, you know, that could be anything from like Deftones to Santana to like, dude, I fucking love like Drake and Ariana Grande and Sabrina Carpenter and shit like that. And so
The whole spectrum.
Yeah, the whole spectrum of music, and it's all inspiration, and you can take inspiration from anywhere. And so outside of like artists, even like you saw our merch in there, like I love Lord of the Rings, I love Star Wars, and like if you read our lyrics, you will find like Easter eggs and things like, oh, that's a line from Lord of the Rings, or that's a, you know, you can find inspiration anywhere.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you never really know when it's going to hit you, but it just does. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So, what tour are you on now, and can you give a little insight
Yeah.
on how that's going?
So we're out with Born of Osiris, The Browning, Victims, and AXTY. We are about halfway through. This is a 7-week tour, so we've been out here for about like 3.5 weeks or so. This tour has been fucking phenomenal. This is our second tour with Born of Osiris. This is like the second leg. They're celebrating the headliner. They're doing a headliner for their new record, Through Shadows. And dude, it's been fucking awesome. They're amazing, wonderful guys. And AXTY was also on that last leg with us, so this is our second tour with them as well. I've toured with Born of Osiris, working for them as crew a few times. But yeah, dude, it's just like and of course, with the Browning, I was already friends with Keem before this. Obviously, all of those guys now are homies. And then Victims, I knew all those guys already. So literally, like day one was like a reunion, like a homie fest. Like,
That's awesome.
Like very, very, very few people I had to like break ice with. Almost everyone I already knew, and I'm already like really good friends with. So
Hell yeah, that's the best kind of tour, I guess. Like all that
This
camaraderie.
is the best fucking tour ever.
You guys can all help out if you need any kind of troubles you had to overcome in the tour so far. You know, I know there's the tour nightmare stories.
Nothing too crazy. The only thing is like, so we rented a pretty big RV, and because we were already homies with AXTY, we kind of like put our brains together, and we were like, all right, you know, this is gonna suck, but what if we share an RV and like split costs? And financially, incredible decision, but definitely a difficult challenge to overcome is like sharing your space with other people, especially like you know them, but you don't really know them until you cohabitate with them. Not necessarily something that I would recommend, but definitely not something I regret doing either. They're wonderful guys, and you know, we're really stoked to be out on another tour with them. But yeah, that's been like a difficult challenge to overcome for sure.
Yeah. Cool. So what's next for Lost and Separation, what you can divulge, or what you aspire, at least in the next couple of years?
What I can say is that we just dropped a song a couple days ago. We will be dropping a lot more singles in the coming, like, you know, calendar year or so. We have a lot of like submits and some plans for some tours next year. Nothing is quite set yet. We're kind of, seeing what our options are and stuff. But, I think the big plan is let's get this band huge and let's tour as much as possible, see the world.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Have you guys played internationally yet?
Just Canada.
Canada.
Yeah,
that's still international.
Fucking love Canada, yeah.
Awesome. Cool, man. Do you have a message for your fans or anybody that is looking into getting started in music as well?
I can answer both of those kind of things a little separately. General message to the fans is hey, general message to the fans, the world is a pretty terrible place, but that doesn't mean that you can't find like silver linings and like basically like a purpose or a passion or like a reason to keep fighting through it. So, be the good in the world that you want to see. And then, what was the other question?
Very Gandhi-like. If you have a message for musicians as well that are also looking into getting started in music.
Don't. No, I'm just kidding. Don't lose your drive, don't lose your passion, and don't give up. And that's honestly something that I tell myself every single day when I wake up, Obviously, we're out here, we're on tour. Born of Osiris is like one of me and Hicks' like foundational, like early on favorite bands, kind of getting into music and discovering the subgenres and stuff. And like a lot of their music influenced who we are as musicians today. So it's like, it's nothing like there's like what am I trying to say?
It's not too far-fetched. It's within reason.
Yeah. And so it's like
Achievable.
It's achievable, but also it's like it was really still hard to get here, and there's still like uncertainty, there's still doubt, there's still all kinds of things that like shackle you down. So like yes, like this is an incredible opportunity, and we're so grateful to be here. And at the same time, it's like it's still scary because like oh fuck, like what's next, And so like. Yeah, like this is the shit that we work so hard for, and at the same time, we don't even know exactly what we're doing next, and so like that's really unsettling at times. And so, I'm telling myself every day to stay positive, not give up, and like, hey, I've worked this hard, I've gotten this far, I didn't come this far just to come this far,
Fair enough, yeah, beautiful. So, and then I guess last question, what do you do it for?
I think there's like, you kind of like separate the different parts of your brain and like, there's obviously like the selfish reasons, like this is really fucking fun and I love singing and making music and playing it, but there's obviously like a lot of like deeper meaning behind it too. And so for me, if you're a fan of this band or like if you've just become a fan of this band, I recommend taking some time to like look through and like read through some of the lyrics. I find that like what I do this for is like a really like cathartic experience. So like talking about like my problems, talking about problems in the world, telling stories and going through and like giving like pain a purpose and like finding a way to like navigate through it in like a healthy way. So like for whether it's like personal content that I'm writing some songs about, like yeah, we have songs about like relationships and breakups, but I also write songs about world events and things like that. And so things that you see going on, like if you're opening up your phone and like looking at the news, like you see things are going on, chances are like some of that is an inspiration behind something that I wrote. And so like my hope is on a bigger scale that like my purpose here is like to write something that people can possibly connect to, and then from there be able to better process those kinds of things or like change their worldview or like what have you. But like basically like long story short is my hope is that my words can maybe inspire like positive change in the world, and whether or not that happens is really up to the people and whatever. But it's like I feel like that's my attempt at like just trying to make things better, if that makes sense, because obviously like I said at the beginning, like too, the world's a really shitty place, but like that doesn't mean it has to be shitty,
Yeah, find the beauty in the world.
Exactly.
And if you can inspire one person, I mean that's progress.
Yeah, exactly.
It spreads like wildfire.
But like on top of that too, like I did say, like it is really fucking fun to like play shows and tour and stuff. Travel the world with my friends and see like it's just you see so many amazing things. And just the other day we were at Garden of the Gods on a different tour. I've gone to like Crater Lake, and of course like working for bands as well, I travel a lot like internationally, so it's like we've never played in Europe, but I've like toured in Europe, which sucks by the way. Sorry Europe. But I got to see some incredible places and eat some incredible food and meet some incredible people, and so it's like that's also part of the reason you do it, is like this is something that like I worked really hard to do and I get to do, and so not everyone gets that experience, and so it's like like I gotta enjoy it, I've got to make the most of it, got to do it while we're young, while we're not quite yet unk or chopped,
We're getting there.
I'm unk.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm unk too.
I'm unk. We're unk. But we're not chopped.
Yeah.
Not yet.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, there's grandpas that are touring the world. I mean,
yeah.
playing sold out stadium, so
Exactly.
it doesn't even matter. But
Exactly.
cool. Yeah, do it while you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the human experience to the
Exactly.
fullest amount. I love it.
Yeah.
It's honestly inspiring. Man, it's been a pleasure.
Dude, absolutely.
Thanks for
Yeah.
doing this, and glad you came to St. Louis.
Dude, absolutely.
And you guys are doing it.
And like, you know, for the viewers at home, we've been like internet friends for like fucking ever, and
Yeah.
we've watched like different iterations of like music projects develop for each other, and like I think like you've probably seen me be in like 2 or 3 bands at this point now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
When
this
you're
is like a nice
playing
little
bass.
exactly yeah, just playing bass. So it's crazy how far we've come, but yeah, this was like a long time in the making. I feel like as well.
Yeah.
You know, you and I linking and hanging out. So yeah, this is cool.
Absolutely. It's been an honor. Stoked for Lost in Separation. Follow them on
Yeah.
social. Stay in touch. They're dropping a whole bunch of music. Honestly, killing the game right now.
Yeah,
So
dude. Follow us, listen to those new songs. You know.
absolutely. Oh, I forgot to hit record.
Are you joking?
No.